Hello everyone, it's Jessica with another layout for Bramble Fox. Today I'm using the December Fox box and this beautiful stencil, and I'm also using some paper snips today. So I'm using number 17 here from the shop, and then this one here is number 50, which actually comes with the Fox Box Plus. So if you're a subscriber to that, you can get that in your Fox box. So I am just showing you a quick little rundown of everything that I'm using here today. I'm going to use the coordinating die to actually go with some of my paper snips here, and my stencil actually wasn't fully cut out, so I had to actually pop a couple of letters out. Sometimes that happens, and if it does, you can just easily just pop them out the rest of the way. So here I'm starting with one of my little stencils here. I have these little rulers that are for actually tearing paper, and I'm just using one as a template to make some little wavy lines to look like snow at the bottom of my page. So I've chosen a pattern paper by Carta, and I am just cutting this out with my scissors after I've traced it with my pencil along those little wavy lines. I've got 3 of them, so they're all nice and layered up, and I'm just going to go through and distress all of the edges of all 3 of these little strips, and then I'll go ahead and tack them down. Originally I had an idea that I was going to put a white border around the whole thing, but I really liked the way that this looked without a border, so I'm just going to leave it the way that it is. I've got 2 photos here with my boys in them, and we were building this lovely huge snowman during our huge winter snowstorm that year when we got 22 inches of snow. So it was a nice big blizzard of a storm, and it was awesome because my boys just absolutely love snow, so they were really enjoying it. My younger son actually, he likes snow now, but at that point in time he was, I don't know, like 9-10 months, something like that. So he was still pretty small, maybe not even 9 months, but he was still pretty small, so I had to cart him around in the sled, and he was not loving the cold or anything. But I had him so bundled up he could barely move, so I know he was warm. But even to this day he still doesn't really like to be cold, so I guess he stuck true to his nature. So I did some stenciling there with one of the stencils, and I just used some white Picket fence distress ink for that. And then I am going to go ahead and put my border strips down at the bottom. I'm just taping them down lightly at the very bottoms of them and just tucking them in where they belong, just so that that stenciling peeks out at the top. I'm going to go ahead and tuck my photos back in. I want to do some layering on my photos though, and I'm just having a play with where exactly I want that title piece to sit. But for the most part, it's going to stay pretty much to the left of my photos. So I think that's where I want to place everything. I'm pulling it off here because I decided that I want to add some white paint splatters. So I'm just pulling out some white paint by Dylusions and watering it down with my paintbrush and just flicking some splatters onto my layout here. And then I'll clean up my glass mat. That's why I love this glass mat, because it's just easy to clean it up. Mine is usually dirty all the time. Once in a while I have to take my magic eraser to it to actually get all of my paint splatters and everything off. But for the most part, I try to keep it pretty clean, but it just doesn't happen. So there I've got my snowflakes. I splattered some white on top of my Perspextives as well. So I got some little paint splatters on my title piece and those little snowflakes. And then I'm pulling out some more papers here that I have in my collection, in my winter bin. And I'm just cutting a couple things out to use on this layout. And then I'm going to cut some of these things out of these paper snips as well to use. Again, the paper snips that I'm going to use on this one is number 17 and 50. So I am just going to cut little bits out of those. I'm going to pull my Big Shot out and use the coordinating die to actually trim out most of the things from the one paper snips, and then just trim a couple of things off of the other one to use. So here I'm just adding some layers to my photos. So I want some pattern papers behind them, and then I'm going to cut a little tag out of one of my dies that I have here from my stash, and use a couple other coordinating papers in behind those. And I'm just tucking little bits around them. I've got my snowman there down on the right. That's where I'm gonna put him. I think I'm just going to tuck him in behind a layer of snow though, probably right there on that second one. So there I've got one tag behind my photo. I've got my die laying here to cut my paper snips out with, which is what I'm going to work on now. So I've cut some of those circles out. I'm just going to use that one circle that has the little snowman on it to go with my layout. And then here I just use my die to trim out all of the bottom pieces of this paper snip sheet because I just have it here, so I might as well just cut them all out while I'm here. So I'm just going to use a few of those pieces on this layout from that sheet and see what else I can add, I guess. So this is another tag. I'm just distressing the edges of the tags as well, just to go with the other distressed pieces in my layouts, and then just layering my photos here a little bit more. And I'll just continue embellishing this. I'm going to add a few more things from the sticker sheet that I pull out of my stash here by Echo Park and Carta. So I've got lots of little miscellaneous pieces from my stash. I have a winter bin that I keep here that I throw in a lot of just winter themed things. So I'm going to pull in a lot of miscellaneous stuff from that. And then there's my title piece here that I'm just going to glue down using some of the Nuvo glue. And that's what I found that works really well for the acrylic pieces. Just to put some Nuvo glue on the back. That's the liquid one there in the top of my frame. And then I'll finish gluing down all these little strips and little bits in the bottom. So I'm just adding little things. I like a lot of things on my layouts, so I like to add a lot of embellishments and different things like this from my stash, which has just little chipboard pieces, and I love these little mittens, so I'm going to add those on here. It goes perfect with these little snowy pictures and our snowman, so I'm going to tuck those right down here by all these little wordy bits. My little girl is here. I'm sure you just heard her. And she's having fun just sitting with me today. So, yeah, she's having fun sitting with me while I edit all of these videos. I think I've edited, this is like my third one, I think, today that I've edited. So, she's been hanging out with me while I work on them. So I've threaded some little twine from my stash onto there, and then like I said before, I'm just gonna keep building this up at the bottom. I'm just gonna add a bunch of stickers to the bottom, some ephemera from my stash, and just little bits and whatever I can find to kind of coordinate with this layouts. I really love doing snow layouts because I really love snow. I don't like the cold, but I love snow, and my one son just loves it too. So I'm actually anxious to see if Onyx likes it. Hopefully we get some decent snow this year here in Pennsylvania, because I would love to be able to get my snowmobile out and get some pictures. I love our snowmobile adventures and the different scenes that we always see. It just looks so pretty with the snow on the trees whenever we're going through the woods. And I would just love to be able to get it out of the garage, because I don't think we got them out like at all last year. We never got any decent snow last year, so we didn't get them out. And that was the first year that I wasn't pregnant in winter too. So I was like really kind of upset that it was my first time that I could really go and enjoy it again because I wasn't pregnant. So then we didn't even get any snow. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but it's okay. It's fine. Hopefully we'll get some this year. So if you use the acrylics from the shop, just remember to take the backing piece off of the back before you put the glue on, because they won't stick as good if you have the backing on there. Sometimes I forget, so you have to really remember to take that backing piece off. So again, I just use the Nuvo glue for those. They seem to stick really well with that. And then I'm just going to tuck a couple little trees in here behind the snowman. I thought that snowman was so super cute right beside that title piece. I just love him. And then this little snow globe that I cut out, I just wanted to pop it up with some 3D foam squares. And then this little circle, I'm actually going to make it into an epoxy flare. So I'm going to use the little stick-on clear epoxy stickers from the shop to make that into a flare button. And just popping some wordy bits on here. A couple extra little snowflakes, and then I'm actually going to go through and add some sequins on this too, but I didn't put that into the video because sequins take me a while to put down onto my layout, and I actually thought I had my camera on, but I turned it off instead. So I recorded like absolutely nothing for a long time, and then when I thought I was turning it on when I was doing my sequins, I actually turned it off. So I completely cut that part of the video out, apparently, whenever I was putting the sequins on, which I would anyways. I usually speed it up when I'm doing those anyhow, so you don't have to watch me stick every single one down. So I am just going to finish this up, and then I will check in at the end with the finished layout. But if you want to grab anything from the shop, I'll link everything below, especially that Foxbox subscription that you can grab that you get every month. So here is the finished layout. I really love how this one turned out. I love how that stenciling peeks through with the white on that craft paper. And you can see my snowy pictures there with my little guys. So I'll link everything below in the description for you if you want to grab anything from the shop. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.